Hey guys, welcome back to the Northeast Florida surf fishing forecast for April 16th to the 18th. This video was taken late Thursday afternoon around 6 o'clock. If you can't tell, the water is absolute mud all day Wednesday. It blew south, southeast, and then Thursday strong out of the west, so we got muddy water. But that's not gonna be the case the next few days if the wind forecast holds up. And we're going to talk about that. And stay tuned for the end of this video. We have a special guest, Steve Connor, showing us how to rig up a jig head to fish inshore for flounder and trout. Like I said, the water, we call it Yoo-hoo milk, chocolate milk, brown 25. That's our nickname for the water when it's dirty around here in Northeast Florida now. Brown 25, Brett Warren started that, but that's going to change, I do believe, looking at the winds for Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Friday, the wind's supposed to switch about mid-morning, northeast 5 to 10, which is excellent. Hopefully that'll clean the water up extremely fast. And on Saturday, east-northeast 5 to 10. I'm looking at it here on Sunday. Well, I guess it's another front coming through early Sunday morning. They're calling for southwest winds 10 to 20. But then switching back over to the northeast at 5 to 10. So it's looking like maybe Friday afternoon, guys, and most of Saturday. Now, they are calling for some rain on the weekend. But honestly, if it's not lightning and thundering and all of that good stuff, those fish, some of the best days we've ever had on the beach and the pier, at least in my experience, is when you have a little bit of a light rain, overcast, and a light northeast wind. That water gets a nice green tint to it, and the Pompano, whiting, speckled trout, bluefish, and Spanish all go nuts. Speaking of, the Spanish have shown up really thick at the jetties right now, the Mayport jetties. So that means they're also along the beach. So if we get some clean water, throwing spoons, gotchas, diamond jigs, will all do the trick. Use a little bit heavier leader. If you're using fluorocarbon, you better use 30 to 40. Or plan to retie a lot of rigs. I really hate to use wire leader for them because it doesn't give the jig the same action. For the Pompano, of course, they're hitting live sandfleas, clam, fresh shrimp, and the crab knuckles, and several of the fish bites flavors, especially the Bama Beach. I always forget. I'm so bad memory-wise sometimes. The clam coquina flavor, and it's endorsed by Bama Beach Bum. I think I got it right. If not, he was not going to be real happy with me. But it's working really good, as well as the rest of the regular clam flavor. The colors I have, I think, are the salmon colors, which to me are the best because they're more natural looking. And a lot of people have been catching some fish on them. I've been checking out the groups the last few days down south and on the Panhandle. Lots of Pompano limits coming up on that coquina flavor. So it's worth having in your tackle box, guys, and trying it out. Also, black drum. They're hitting fresh shrimp and crab knuckles. Travis got 3 nice black drum late Thursday afternoon in the surf, north of Jack's Beach. So those drum are there too, as well as a few redfish I've seen caught. They've been biting the sandfleas and dead shrimp, and plenty of blues. And as you know, they'll eat just about anything that moves or is shiny or that makes a noise. So you remember you can only keep 3 as well. They changed it. It used to be 10, 3, and they still have to be 12 inches to the fork of the tail. And that's about it. There's a lot of yellowmouth trout been coming up too along the last few days. Tons of catfish and bonnet heads. But we know when the water's dirty, guys, what do we always say? Stingrays, sharks, and catfish. And the fourth one to make that I actually can't stand worse than all of them is that sand perch. They will eat everything. I was catching them on sand fleas the other day in the dirty water, and never caught them on sand fleas before, but obviously they're very hungry. It is what it is. I was going to show you a few little rigs. Talked to George Harris. He's a little bit down south of Jacksonville. If you want to look him up, look him up on Facebook. He makes these rigs and hooks, and they are working great. He absolutely crushed the Pompano and whiting the last 2 days. See how he ties his own. It's worth having. I'll take some of these out of the bag because it reminds me of when I was younger and fished the old Jack's Beach Pier. And I would actually buy the crappie jigs, if anybody who's fished for speckled perch or crappie, whatever you want to call them, the little small jig heads with a small gold hook and the little fuzzy feathers and stuff. But what I found out back then is the Pompano absolutely crushed them on a double hook rig. But if you got a big one on, those little gold hooks, they would bend out quite often. What he's done, I love it. These things are killer. It looks like an eagle claw circle hook on it. Giving those Pompano some eye candy. Whiting as well, the big whiting, love them. If you don't think the whiting like all this bling, it's not true. I've seen whiting caught on gotchas, which are silver in multiple colors. I've seen them caught on Pompano jigs, the jig by itself with no bait. And I saw a picture the other day. It was a hawk, had a huge whiting, but in the whiting's mouth it had a mirror lure, top water lure. Never seen that before. So those whiting, man, I think when they hang around the Pompano, they get used to hitting all these different colors. And what I'm putting these rigs in, and it makes it so much easier. I don't know if you know, but Florida Surf Tackle makes these killer bags. You can put all your rigs in them. They won't get tangled up together. That's why we talk about on rainy days that you can't fish or dirty water days, tie a bunch of rigs. So you go to the beach, have this little compact bag and do all the fishing you need to do. That's about it. As far as the water temperature goes, Fernandina is 66 right now. Jack's is 1 degree warmer, probably a little bit more than that, 67, 68. Flagler is 70, and Matanzas Inlet right now is 69 degrees. So we are in that frame where everything is going to be showing up. There's been pogies and rays along the beach this week. I've seen several big manta rays jump. So for all those cobia lovers out there, it will be any day. Keep watching. You know if the rays are there, what else is going to be with them. And like I said, we have Steve. His name's Steve Connor. He's been crushing the trout and flounder with the jig head using gulp and fish bites. He's going to show you how to rig them up, how he ties it. Really good fisherman. He picks it up very fast, and he's done really well. He's been putting up a lot of nice, great reports. Some nice flounder, 17, 18-inch flounder already. He's been catching just simply using a jig head, no live bait. So when you're getting off work and you don't have a bait, that jig head and a grub, man, that works awesome. The flounder and trout have been tearing them up. And reds, he's been getting legal reds as well. I won't give his spots out. There's plenty of spots here in Northeast Florida. All you need is some water and some structure, and you'll find fish. That's all I got. I really think Friday afternoon and Saturday could be some very productive days, guys. Just watch the skies. If there's lightning, don't risk it. Get out of the way. And that's it. If y'all have any questions or comments, leave them below. And either this coming Saturday, not the 17th, but the following Saturday, I'm really, schedule-wise, I need to see if it can line up, but I'd really like to go ahead and do the seminar, the second seminar, for all those who missed the first one, so we can get it over with, so you guys will be catching the Pompano and whiting and everything else right along with us. And then further on, we're going to hold another seminar to show how to target trout, the drum, and such from the beach. Although, like the drum, use the same type of rigs as whiting and Pompano, but you might want to use a little bit different bait and place the line in a little bit different areas. You know, each fish has their own little zone a lot of times that they like to hang. So we'll see. One little tip that I've learned over the years, and I do it every time I clean fish, see what they've been eating. The whiting and Pompano I've been cleaning lately are full, absolutely full of the little coquina clams, you know, the little small colored clams. So why do you think they're hitting the coquina clam flavor so well in regular clam flavor? Because that's what's in their diet right now. Sand flea report. Last year at this time, I have multiple videos of absolutely huge schools of sand fleas in Jack's Beach. Not the case right now. As you know, the winter here was actually a little bit colder than it has been. So I think that has a lot to do with it. At least I hope. I hope we don't have some kind of issue going on that we don't know about. But they'll be here soon. I think within the next week, we're going to see some nice schools that start to show up, and then you'll have your free bait, all the free bait you need. Other than that, guys, thanks for watching, and we might have a report tomorrow afternoon, so keep tuning into the channel. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't done so, and check out our Facebook page and send an invite. We got lots of great reports throughout the day on there from all over Northeast Florida. Till next time, tight lines, guys.
Hey everyone, Steven here, just helping out. Spencer asked me to maybe show you guys a couple inshore tactics that we've been really doing well with. And so one I'm not going to show too in depth, but you should look at is a popping cord. This one first allows you to control the depth, so you can adjust your leader line to however long you need, adjust your hook size to accommodate whatever bait you're using. Really cool, makes a little bit of noise as needed when you pull and make a little pop. And this is just one great way to float things along in the river. But the one I use probably most often is jig heads, and I like to use a different series of weights, all the way from a 1/16 ounce up to even a 1/4 ounce. For me, the jig head is just great because it just allows you to control either like dragging along the bottom or different water depths, and it's really fast and easy to tie. There is one trick that I learned from someone that I think you should always use when you're tying a jig head, and that's just a simple loop knot. So I keep a little pack with me when I ride in the boat or anywhere I'm going shore fishing. Inside I have some swivels and some jig heads, and so just to quickly show you what I'm talking about, I tie a swivel to the main line. That allows me to pack things in advance, and so they're always ready to rock as needed, and I just switch it out at the swivel right there at the main line. And so these two things, I'm not going to show you the swivel, I'm going to focus more on how the jig head gets a little bit of extra play. And the trick is just a loop knot. And so when you've picked your weight based on how deep you want to go, all you have to do is just grab a little bit of leader line. Today I'm going to use a little bit of Seaworks. I like to use 25 to 30 pound. I just think that's a good weight for the species we have here locally. Sometimes you can go heavier, maybe you're doing something with tons of structure and you want to make sure it's safe. But what you're going to do with the line itself is you have to tie a loop in it. And so the first thing is loop it around itself and then tie just a loop. And you're going to want to make sure give yourself a few inches to tie everything in place. My girlfriend's cooking in the background here. We're at the apartment grill, so please excuse the distraction. But after you send it into a loop pattern, the next thing you need to do is run it through the eye of the jig head. And so get my fingers in position to show you that. Okay, and so now what I want to do is just hold it near the loop itself, so the jig head is just on the line, and then I want to send this tag line back through this loop I've created. So I'll show you. Alright, so we've sent it through, you can see it's on the other side now, and then I'm going to wrap it around the main line twice. And then what's going to happen is I'm going to send it back through the loop the other direction. So one wrap, and then a second wrap, and then back through the main line. Normally it doesn't take me this long to do it. I'm sorry I'm fumbling here. But we'll send it back through the loop, and then what you want to do is just pull it tight. So you pull on the tag end for a certain point, and then you're going to pull on the jig itself to make sure it's nice and snug. This is kind of cool for a few things, because what it allows it to do is as you're coming along down the water, you have extra motion. So as you flick, you can reel in, hit a rock, perhaps get a little more play to bounce off a rock, or just have a little bit more dance to whatever type of configuration you have on the end of your jig. You can use things like paddle tails. I really love the fish bites in white. The white knuckles are really good for what you can do with them. One trick I learned from Brett Warren, I think that's really important, is you have to stretch the tail. These are kind of like organic-y, kind of soft material that really benefit from a little bit of pull. You don't want to tear, but obviously you want to get a little bit of more action in the swim. And so if you pre-stretch the tail before you put them on the jig head, it really adds a lot more to that paddling. But the last point that you should make is always to run it dead straight down the actual jig head itself. It makes a big difference in how the outcome of the bait works underwater. if you do it cockeyed, you're going to get a bad play. If you get it dead straight, you'll have the true play of the actual jig itself. But always use a loop knot, in my opinion. If you want to pre-tie some stuff and have it ready, like me, these bags are cheap on Amazon. You can always label them up with whatever the weight of the leader line that you're using and the actual weight of the jig. And it's just a quick way to deploy in the river. And so if you float between jig heads and popping cork, I think you're going to have a pretty good day. Flounder and everything like that are starting to come back in the river. My girlfriend Cassie on the grill tonight, she's been killing it. Big flex. But we all love it, and I just think if you're only fishing shore, give inshore a try. It'll just really make more fun out of fishing. Enjoy the hobby. Thanks for watching.